let's get to the naturally inspired moment, because today I want to talk about 5 strategies for taking an audit on your results. This is so important. Merit matters. Standard matters. You don't have to feel bad about your results. Who cares? Like, the past is the past. Let's move forward, and until you recognize and take real stock and be honest with yourself, you can't fix anything. And listen, I'm not perfect. Many of my mentors, my teachers rather, they're not perfect. It's an ongoing process. So there's no point in beating yourself up about stuff. It's about moving forward and accepting responsibility and radical responsibility, right? That's the key. Taking radical responsibility. That's when you really make change. And radical responsibility means you don't blame anybody else. It doesn't mean that they're not accountable for what they've done to you or, the bad things that have happened. It doesn't mean they are not accountable. It means that you are choosing empowerment. That's what it means when you take radical personal responsibility. So this isn't a beat up session. This is like, I'm to the point now where when I don't do things that I know I need to do, I just laugh at myself because it's like, oh yeah, that's called being human. All you can do is to get back on track. So 5 strategies for taking an audit of your current results. Number 1, check your consistency. So are you showing up daily in the habits that matter most? Because results come from what you do regularly, not occasionally. And I bring this up because I think, when we know something, it's like, oh yeah, I know I need to eat more protein. Of course, I know I do. I know it. So I'm doing it. But then if you really track what you're doing, you'll find oh crap, I'm actually not getting all my protein. And so this is good news though. This is not an opportunity for you to crap on yourself because you're not getting the protein that you're supposed to be getting. No, this is an opportunity because that's an easy fix, right? I got to eat more protein. So now I eat more protein. Where the frustration sets in is when we lie to ourselves and act like we're trying everything. I'm trying everything. I know about protein. I know about hydration. I know about sleep. I know all that stuff. Nothing's working. Something's not right. Because we know what the fundamentals are that curate health. And so we have to get radically honest with ourselves. And it does not make you a bad person because you know something and you're not executing. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means okay, I'm grateful when I figure I'm like, oh, something's not right here. What have I been doing? And then I'm like, oh, thank God, that's what it is. I actually haven't been eating good this week. You know what I mean? That's a relief because then there's a cause. So we should embrace those things. We should embrace the audit in order to, understand that this is actually what's happening. Okay, so check your consistency. Number 2, measure what matters. Pick 1 or 2 key markers like your energy, your sleep, your quality, or your sleep quality, or your waistline, or, your strength, and track them honestly over time. All right. Strength is a good one. Or, I like to run. I was definitely focusing a lot more on weight training as I turned 50 this year, which I should. But my son wants to run a half marathon and I want to do that too. So with him, so I started, amping up my mileage again. And when I first started back amping up my mileage, I was getting slow. I was like, oh my gosh, I am slow. And yesterday, I had a great run and I've been able to shave a minute off of my mileage. So pretty quickly back, because my body has that memory. But if I wasn't measuring, I could have easily went out that first time and been like, oh, this is a slog. I don't think I'm ever going to get back to running half marathons because, do you see? But because I measured, I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm actually pretty slow. Already, I'm gaining that conditioning back. But it's because I'm not afraid to measure, because I don't get stuck on the fact that I'm slower now. I hope that makes sense. So you got to measure honestly. Number 3, evaluate your mindset. Notice the thoughts behind your actions. This is so important. And I think one of my woes this week is about this. Are you approaching your goals with belief and possibility or with doubt and excuses? Right? You come into something, yeah, I've done all this before. Yeah, I know. But the problem with that is, actually, you know what? Eliminate that sentence from your vocabulary. The problem with that is, I hear that a lot. You got to remove statements like that because you're looking for problems. You're focusing on the problem. You got to focus on the solution. And I know it's hard. That mindset shift is hard at first, but just audit yourself and be honest with yourself how many times you say the problem, yeah, but the problem with that is, or I can't do that because, yeah, I tried that, but okay, you didn't like that strategy. What about a different strategy? Give me a different strategy. That could replace, yeah, but the problem with that is, how about I need a different strategy? Because asking your brain for a different strategy, you're going to come up with a different path. There's many paths to health. It's not one size fits all. Okay, so evaluate your mindset. Number 4, ask for feedback. Sometimes we can't see our own blind spots. Oh, that is so true. So, ask somebody else. Ask somebody else, a trusted mentor, a coach, a friend. They can help you recognize your progress or where you're stalling. I was in a bit of a habit for a long time where I would go too long without eating. And then by the time I ate, I was starving, And so, of course, you're going to overeat when you're starving. That was a habit I had built for years, going as a Gen Xer, going to school with no lunch, whatever, you tough it out and then you come home and you're starving. Of course, you're going to overeat when you haven't eaten all day. But I didn't even see that I had carried that pattern over to even into adulthood until somebody pointed it out to me. I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, of course I'm going to overeat then because I'm starving. So look at somebody else and have them say, do you see anything here? Like, if you truly don't know what you're doing that's causing you to derail the results that you want, then have somebody else look at what you're doing and then accept that as a way, that they love you and that they're trying to help you. You don't need to get defensive. So once you discover these things, the 5th thing is adjust and recommit, right? Don't make it emotional. Audits aren't about beating yourself up. They're about course correcting. And newsflash, we always have to course correct because let me tell you, success, especially in health, is not linear. That's not the way the body works. You're gonna go up, you can go down. You're gonna go up even higher, then you go down a little bit, then you go up higher than that, then you come down a little bit, up, and then the graph looks like this until the trajectory is up and towards your finish line. So if something isn't working, tweak the plan, but keep going. Regular audits keep you accountable and moving forward. When you pause, reflect, and adjust, you transform your results from accidental to intentional. So don't be afraid to take an audit on your results. We're coming up into hour 2. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.